welcome to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week, we return for a second week in a row to England to cover Spring Hill Jack. And he slash it slash whatever comes from the Victorian era of England, with the first claimed sighting coming in 1837. Later sightings were reported all over the UK, especially in London, the Midlands, and Scotland. And his depiction slash powers, uh, he had the ability to make great leaps, I believe up to 9 to 10 feet, and like total length. Apparently, as you can tell, he kind of had a Batman-esque look to him, except more terrifying and frightening in appearance, with a diabolical aura to him. He also had clawed hands and eyes that resembled balls of fire. So, kind of evil looking, in my opinion. And further the Batman resemblance, he wore a black cloak, a helmet, and a tight fitting white garment. And apparently he was devil like and could breathe fire, and shockingly enough, he spoke English.
I thought that was one of the funniest things here on the depictions was, oh yes, all these different things, and then he could speak English. Oh, diabolical.
So diabolical. We're in the middle of England, and we've got a guy that speaks English.
And he does very much look like a kind of Batman-esque villain, especially with like the kind of like wing kind of bit, everything. Oh,
I mean, how diabolical, a person living in England speaking
oh,
English.
I know.
Oh, the fear, the terror, the diabolical aura with the eyes that are balls of fire.
So there are a few stories that are around Spring Hill Jack. One of them, or like the beginning of the story, I guess early stories, were October of 1837, where Mary Stevens claims a strange figure leaped out from a dark alley, which leapt, of course, because Leaping Jack, grabbed onto her and didn't let go until she started screaming. The figure, she said, had cold, clammy hands like a corpse and even had claws, so kind of fits the same MO and depiction of Spring-Heeled Jack. Um, then the next day, right nearby, the figure jumped in front of a carriage, causing the carriage to crash. And then witnesses saw him escaping by jumping over a 9 foot high wall while cackling with a high pitched, ringing laughter. So that's kind
And
of where.
by the way, jumping over 9 feet, that's not normal.
No, nowhere near normal. I have, in my opinions, I have something to talk about for that. um, then in February 19th, 1838, so the next year, Jane Alsop, Alspo, okay, recorded answering a door to someone claiming to be a police officer. The police officer said something about, "Oh, we caught Spring-Heeled Jack," and asked for a light or a candle, I guess, to go outside for. And when the light was handed over to him, they threw off their cloak and grabbed Jane. And then after ripping her clothes and also like cuts on her neck and arms, she finally got away. And then the figure fled. And the figure is kind of like the depiction of Spring-Heeled Jack, had claws which she said to have been of metallic substance, then wore a black cloak, a helmet, and tight-fitting white garments. So fits him to a T. And something I thought was interesting was that the claws in this one were said to be metallic in substance and not be like actual claws. So nothing supernatural about it or anything like bestial or monster-like, just someone wearing metal claws. And then in February 28th of the 1838, Lucy Scales and her sister were passing by an alley called Green Dragon Alley, and they saw a person standing inside the alley. Just as she came by, Lucy, he spurt a blue flame in her face, or in front of her, and then she dropped to the ground and was seized with violent fits. And these continued for several hours afterwards. Now, the individual did not speak, did not lay hands on them at all, just walked quickly away afterwards.
Okay, if you told me that that story came from like Harry Potter, I would believe you. I mean, Lucy Scales, Green Dragon Alley, blue flames being spin a face that causes seizures. Yeah, it sounds like Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I do like the name Lucy Scales. Right when I saw that, I'm like, that is a nice name. And then, kind of like you were saying, Dragon Alley, or whatever from Harry Potter, Green Dragon Alley. Yes, that does seem like Harry Potter.
I mean, I can't believe we haven't brought up Harry Potter more than we have. I mean, yes, brought up in the werewolves and the wizards and slash witches episode, which if you haven't watched or listened to, you should definitely go back and do so. But I think other than those two episodes, Harry Potter references have been few and far between.
Yeah. One thing I thought was interesting about the Lucy case there was that this is like the only time where he did not do anything like specifically like that bad. He just kind of spurt a blue thing of flames, and then she just like instantly fell to the ground. I mean, that was the worst thing he did for that case. Where the other
I mean,
ones, he like grabbed them, ripped their clothes, or like made a carriage crash and stuff like that. So
yeah, in this case, he just made a person have violent seizures,
when you put it like
which
that,
is which is still bad, but
yeah, when you put it like that, it is bad. But like just shooting out a blue thing of flames at her or in front of her or whatever. I mean, that it's not that bad. That's not that bad.
Ethan, he still caused seizures.
I know.
Bad Springfield Jack. Bad.
And there are some theories behind what or who or anything like that for Spring-Heeled Jack. Um, so the theories go of mass hysteria, so people just being hysteric and hallucinating and not really knowing what they're seeing, kind of thing. Um, would you like to say this next one?
Henry Delapour Beresford, the third Marquess of Waterford, on a drunken wager.
So is that a person? I'm guessing that they think is the
Yes.
yeah okay. I saw that and I'm like I am not going to be able to say that.
Yeah. Henry Delapour Beresford, who was the third Marquess of Waterford, apparently one of his rich noble friends wagered him while drunk, while either Henry or his friend, or more than likely both, were drunk.
Now you see, I can see that. I can kind of see that being like a drunken wager kind of thing. Now it's still weird that they could still leap 9 feet if that is true. But like all the other stuff, I could see someone just doing. I don't know.
Yeah, like jumping out in front of a carriage and causing it to crash.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds very drunken like.
Yes.
Then other theories. I don't really know for sure much about an alien, but apparently aliens. Demon, I guess, being diabolical and devil-like or whatnot, of course. Then hallucinations, kind of like we were talking with mass hysteria.
And honestly, I think the most likely candidate is Henry Delacour Beresford being Spring Hill Jack, and then it got that story turned into mass hysteria, and the stories were exaggerated into the legend of Spring Hill Jack that we've got today.
Yeah, I agree.
Because not even professional basketball players who are kind of known for jumping really high can't jump like 9 feet in the air. They can, I guess technically they can, but that's with their hands up, not like literally jumping not 9 feet off the ground.
So, my thoughts. I also think Spring Hill Jack was probably a real person and kind of probably a little bit exaggerated. Uh, Everything about his depiction I feel is pretty easily explained except for two of them. So, his appearance being kind of devil like and like him having fireball eyes and stuff like that, I feel like can be kind of just said to have been a mask. His claws, even in like one case or possibly multiple cases, but the one I saw is even explained to me metallic like in some cases. So I feel like that is pretty easily explained that it's had kind of like metal claws or metal gloves or whatnot. Um, then kind of like we were talking with the leaps. So the 9 foot leap is very, very impressive if true, because the highest known leap I saw in the Guinness Book of World Records was 5 foot 7 inches, and that was set by Christopher Spell, who is only 5 foot 9 inches. So he almost jumped his entire height in a vertical leap, which Spring Hill Jack could have possibly not just been a. That was not a running leap. So Spring Hill Jack could have had a running leap, which could have also increased how far he could have gone. He also could have had like grabbed onto something to pull himself up for the rest of the part. It does not exactly say that he exactly jumped completely over, but still, 9 foot is extremely tall and probably not possible. Then the breathing fire from his like mask or whatever it is. I don't think is quite impossible because I've seen people make masks that can breathe fire, and you can see people like breathing fire if like you drink alcohol and then you blow on a flame or whatnot. So I mean that's not possible, but it might have been hard to produce in the 1800s if it was a mask that was producing the flame or whatnot. So I think Spring Hill Jack is probably just a real person, possibly Henry the Third Marcus or whatever, and probably drunk.
Yeah, probably drunk, probably heavily exaggerated, just yeah, drunk people do stupid things all the time. Not saying it was Beresford, but it was aliens.
It was aliens or a demon.
But I think that's all we've got for this week. Next week we'll still be in England with more of an unsolved serial unaliver for YouTube standards. And Jack the Ripper. Apparently, Jack was a very popular name in England during the 1800s.
That's what I was thinking. Spring Hill Jack, Jack the Ripper. I'm sure there's other names that are Jack related, but those two specifically.
Well, barring any last words from Ethan, we'll see you next week covering Jack the Ripper. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Drop us a follow on Spotify, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye everyone.